Man, do you like podcasts? Well then,
welcome to
No Gimmicks Needed.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
this is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Alright, so we got the news on Friday. The news that I felt as though we already knew. At least some of us did. And it's about WrestleMania.
Never mind. Keep going.
So we know WrestleMania 42 is in Vegas. They're doing the back-to-back thing. Well, now, WrestleMania 43 is going to go over to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, which we knew was going to happen. And WrestleMania 43 is going to be in Saudi Arabia. The first international WrestleMania. Yes, everybody in the UK is pissed. Because they have been screaming.
Yeah, they could have had it anywhere else.
What you say?
They could have had it anywhere else.
Anywhere else. But no, they had to have Saudi Arabia. Which, once again, now the initial contract that they signed in Saudi Arabia was from 2018 to 2028. I figured like there was no way Saudi Arabia was not going to get a WrestleMania. And this
the thing, all right, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest here.
Yeah.
I don't think they signed that with the intent of having a WrestleMania, but when they signed over to TKO and TKO seen how much money they were willing to roll out, TKO said, "Oh, we got to jump on that immediately." Because I would say when they were not doing TKO shows, they just had like Crown Jewel and
Super Showdown
and other shows like that, Super Showdown. Well, when they actually made the transition over to TKO, I feel like that's when they started making shows "quote unquote" important, like having the King and Queen of the Ring and Elimination Chamber. That's why I feel like they started kind of started to bring their more actual pay-per-view instead of making one up for the Saudi shows.
Mm-hmm.
So then I didn't think they was gonna do WrestleMania. I thought the Royal Rumble. I thought that's what the end of the line was at the Royal Rumble. Because they're having the Rumble next year too in Saudi. But the thing is, it's like, where would they hold WrestleMania in Saudi? Because the first arena that they had it at, the first arena that they had the greatest Royal Rumble at, they could have it there because that was like the biggest arena that they had, and they kept going to little and smaller arenas. But it's like a whole week basically in Saudi is kind of
That's Raw, that's Smackdown, that's NXT, that's the Hall of Fame, that is all that stuff over. And oh my goodness, like, can the women even wear dresses? Like, you know what I'm saying, when they go to the Hall of Fame ceremony, like
they gotta wear pants.
Like it's there's so much stuff that can be wrong with that's wrong with this, and so much things I'm fear of when we go into this deal, and I think this is not going to be good for WWE in the long run, not in the short run, the long run. And also, the Triple H had a press conference, and I think he had Bianca Belair up there and Logan Paul and a couple other people up there. And I'll be honest with you, they didn't look to be thrilled to be up there. And I was just like,
they didn't look thrilled at all.
Huh?
They didn't look thrilled at all.
No, they didn't. They didn't look thrilled to be up there when the press conference. And now, they're saying that Saudi Arabia is possibly could have paid $100 million for the WrestleMania.
No.
What you about to say?
They paid $100 million for the Rumble.
Yeah, which is coming in 2026. But so
they paid $250 million for Mania.
That's insane. That's insane. And once again, I think there are reports saying that they want The Rock and they want certain.
No. Let me tell you what they want.
Okay.
I'm not even trying to be funny. Or how we will make jokes on how they want anybody. They want the dead people, Hogan and Warrior and all that. They legit put out a list and said money is no object. We want these people to perform. So they want Rock to perform. They want Stone Cold. They want Taker, and they want Shawn. At least those four. Money is no object, like they said.
Whew, and once again, that's what one of the things I'll be fear of, because The legends is going to be dusting off their boots for a payday, and the only
Michaels did it.
huh?
Michaels did it.
Yeah, I know it kind of fucked up his legacy a little bit. That match was ass.
Hey, you know what? Wait a minute. I gotta suggest it. What if they do what they did? I'm sorry. What if they do what they did at WrestleMania 17 and have like a little rumble for like those two, like Bret Hart in there, Stone Cold in there, Shawn Michaels in there, Undertaker there, like a little rumble.
Absolutely not. They're not doing no gimmick battle royal for those. So they ain't doing that. They not doing that.
That would be hilarious.
And I'm gonna tell you something right now. Stone Cold not coming back for this.
That's bullshit. Oh, okay.
See, you may say that's bullshit, but here's the thing. Stone Cold not just coming back for a payday. Stone Cold got too much pride in his character. And if it don't make sense
I don't want to say he's not gonna come back for a payday. If it makes sense for him on top of a payday, I think he'll come back. Because they couldn't think of a number for him to come back at WrestleMania. Even though he's supposed to come back, they couldn't think of a number. They got unlimited numbers. If they make something that makes sense for him, I think he could come back. I'm not even trying to be like that's Stone Cold.
But he is very, and has said this before, he is very protective of the Stone Cold character. So he's not just coming back for no battle royal. He's not just going to come back for no special referee. He's going to come back for a rivalry, so that's going to make sense. And when it comes to The Rock, I already see The Rock.
Well, The Rock might fight Roman. So
like could go up against Roman or Cody or some shit like that. Shawn Michaels, I don't know. Like we probably could finally get our Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles match.
If he's still there.
You're right.
I'm just saying, like other people though, they will shell out for sure. Like I ain't trying to be funny, but they might try to get Richard out there.
Richard.
Richard.
Oh, God.
They might try to get Steve out there. They might try to dig up Terry somewhere. I don't know what they think about.
I don't know what they say plans is, but I'm like, it's not going to be looking good. Like I said, and it sucks for us in the States because we don't have any event to go to. Because they was even talking about this on Newsweek. I think it had an article up that said former WWE star blasts WrestleMania 43 announcement. Now the former star that they're talking about, hold on, I'll make sure I get the name right, is, of course, I don't know if you call it, but it's Jonathan Coachman. That's all it is. And he was talking to Thunder Rosa about how he felt about it. And he said, I think it's going to be 90% negative. I think that a lot of wrestling fans, if they don't go to WrestleMania, they're like the idea of being able to go, Coach said regarding the fan reactions. He said, I promise you, I never said to myself, let me check the prices and go to Riyadh, Coach said to Thunder Rosa. And he also mentioned that the smaller promoters, like the indie guys and like the lot of small promoters, typically rely on having WrestleMania in North America location since they run various independent wrestling promotions in that area. And I know when we came to Philly, there was always a show to go to. Always.
WrestleMania week is how everybody else makes their money that weekend. They just, wherever city they in, they just find any venue they can and just run. All the wrestle cons and everything like that happens at that week. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
And he said, this is what Coach said. To me, this goes against everything that WrestleMania has ever been built on. Every fiber of WrestleMania, the whole reason Vince McMahon started it with WrestleMania 1 in New York City, Coach said. Look, I'm not saying Coach don't have a point here. Because, once again, in the long run, everybody keeps saying that they sold out. And I'm like, I've seen a countless amount of people sit there and say that. And I'm like, sold out where? If you want to say they sold out, they've been sold out. Because here's the problem. We would never be in the situation. This is one thing me and my wife was talking about. We would never be in the situation right now if it wasn't for Vince McMahon people be getting blinded by the fact that the reason we're in this whole fucking situation in the first place is because of Vince McMahon. The reason why ticket prices are going up, and yet, did you hear what Mark Shapiro said about?
I heard what he said.
Okay, when he sit there and said that, hey, we got to do some work with WWE because they're not on the level of UFC, especially when it comes to ticket prices. So they're talking about we got to even raise ticket prices even some more for WWE to the point where in 5 years their fan base is not going to be the same as it is now. If they keep going down this path.
Did you hear what he said about Vince?
Okay, now paraphrase because he definitely. I know he said that. I don't know if they use the term strong enough because Vince charged a lot of money, charged the ticket price he did because it was for families. What did he say?
Yeah, he said we're not doing that. We trying to maximize our ticket sales, so we focus on money, not really for families coming to our show.
Basically. Exactly. Yes, I did hear that. To the point where it's just like, listen, the one thing you don't want to ever do in certain events, sporting events, concerts, anything like that, is you don't want to upset the fan base because you know what? I think the proper terminology is they're taking the fan base for granted, and you shouldn't do that. That's what I think a lot of people do. They take the fan base for granted, knowing to the fact that the fan base is what keeps the money going. And there will always be fans, but I think they're arrogant enough to believe that they're going to be fans everywhere. And it doesn't matter what they do, they're still going to join no matter what. And I think that is very arrogant, especially on the part of TKO in WWE. And like I said, if you raise the prices, you're eliminating a lot of the other people that have gone to wrestling shows. Like, I've been wanting to take my niece to a wrestling show for the longest time, but the price is just too expensive. I remember when I used to pay $125 for a front row ticket to Raw. And yes, I'm not sitting here saying that Vince McMahon is no angel, and I'm not sitting here saying that if the demand wasn't there, because once again, WWE, what they're doing today is more than what WWE was doing back then in terms of money. Now, Lady Sketch brought up a good point, like she's not here right now, that TKO has been in debt, so they have to, they're really trying to pay themselves out of debt, and they got to use all these vehicles to pay themselves out of debt, so WWE's probably not doing as good as we think they're doing. Even so, it just still sucks that this kind of thing is even happening. But I'm like, but before y'all want to say sell out, and they went to WWE and they sold out, Vince is the reason why we in this in this situation. We would have never been in this situation if Vince just left. Yes or no, Prime?
I mean,
You're breaking up. I can't hear what you're saying.
Say it one more time.
I said yes or no. We wouldn't even be in this situation right now if Vince had just left.
Well, he wanted to leave. He wanted to sell the company. So technically, yeah, it is on Vince. But I feel like they would have been greedy anyway after Vince left. Anyway.
No, okay, but see, here's what I'm saying. When everybody wants to praise Vince, like Vince would have never done this, and once again, that Vince is doing doing a face turn right now, and Vince would have never did all this shit that I've been seeing online. What I'm trying to say is, Vince McMahon is the whole reason we're in this situation. If Vince, look, fine. If with the Janelle Grant stuff, that shit is disgusting and it's wrong. No matter, at the end of the day, it's wrong. Vince ain't never, and then people can sit there and complain to him, so she's just in it for money. Probably, but here's the thing. Even when he did to her, whether she in it for the money or not, it's still wrong. And guess what? Vince stopped paying her. That's his fault.
That is true.
He stopped paying. Like, that's the whole thing. Vince is not going to jail. Get that through your head right now. This is a civil case, not a federal case. So no matter what happens to Vince in this case with Janelle Grant, he's not going to jail. So that's number one. Got the way. He stopped paying this woman. So if you want to say it's just about money, fine. And I'm not even going to victim blame here because once again, what he did to her was disgusting and should have never even happened. And once again, women, it's a shame that the victim blaming that we put women through, that they can't even have enough courage to come out and explain their stories. With that being said, if it's a thing about she just wanted the money, ask yourself this question: if somebody was paying you millions of dollars in a certain time frame and they just stopped, and you like, where the money at? Would you not call them and say where the money at too? You would do that.
Yep.
So he stopped paying. And now we're in a situation. So now he brings drama onto himself. They had to say, Vince, listen, you're too toxic for this business right now. You gotta go. He fake retires, gets mad, tries to come back, and they're like, yo, you gotta go. And the only way Vince can see himself trying to come back into his business is to sell the business to TKO, thinking that TKO, Ariel Emanuel, and all of them was going to just welcome him back with open arms because he's Vince McMahon, damn it. Okay? And what happened was he sold the company, they got the Netflix deal, and they got all this stuff, and then he was like, hey guys, so I'm going to go back to running my company, right? No. You're gone. That's what happened. He did all this because Vince McMahon could not get his way. That's what happened. He is not a hero here. He's a villain. And now they're owned by TKO. They get to do what they want to do and see fit with this company because it's not a family-owned business anymore. That's his fault. And now we have to sit here and worried about see a WrestleMania go back to back in Vegas because of greed. We have to see a WrestleMania go internationally to Saudi Arabia, which look, am I not sitting there saying that everybody from the States is going to fly to Saudi Arabia? I'm not saying they won't. But however, not a lot of us are going to be flying over to Saudi Arabia, and guess what? They don't need us. Saudi Arabia just needs its own people. They got stadiums that can fit 100,000 people. They don't need us. They don't. They don't care if you're not going to come over to Saudi Arabia. They don't need you. And they're going to want to have the WrestleMania that they want. And that's Vince's fault. At the end of the day, it's his fault. Y'all got to get that to your head. It's his fault. And now Triple H is out here trying to be the Dana White of the WWE, which is not going to be good in his favor. And once again, he's not Vince. And all these I know Triple H, he ain't going to say that. He under a lot of pressure. So if Triple H don't start showing, like with these higher ticket sales, and if things start declining, like when you finally roll the car up to the top of the hill and things start rolling backwards, then it's like, okay, what's going to happen there? His will roll, and whose head is going to roll? Triple H's. Y'all gotta see that shit, man. And this Saudi Arabia stuff is just the beginning of this stuff, man. It really is. And it's like, yeah.
I thought that the Rumble will be the last of it, the biggest that they get.
I knew WrestleMania was coming. I knew, especially when they, first of all, New Orleans is still older WrestleMania, but they pulled them out to go back to Vegas.
Well, I'm gonna say I don't think. Sorry. I think they owe New Orleans a WrestleMania, but they'll give it to them later. But they they are officially made a deal with Indianapolis.
Yeah, so yeah, Indianapolis is probably going to be. I would say
Indianapolis has to get it either 44 or 45, but
yeah,
they didn't. They pulled their bid from New Orleans, so New Orleans technically it would be nice to owe them one, but they their money. They don't it's not official type of thing.
Yeah.
Like the Indianapolis one, they pay all their money up front. It's like, hey, we getting. I think they said they're getting the main three. I think they said it. But it's like, it was like, no, we're getting the Rumble, which they did already. So we're getting Mania just at a later time. But New Orleans, they took their money back, in a sense. Or they like kind of rescinded their bid. So it'll be nice for them to be like, yo, all right, we want to take their money and owe you now. But no, they not obligated to do that, which is kind of messed up because you did kind of promise them people. You had the Rock make an announcement and everything, and then just took it away.
You're right. And that's the unfortunate part that we're dealing with here. This is only going to be the beginning, and it just sucks that this is what's going to happen. So now we're not going to have anything in North America for that WrestleMania weekend. Now, on the flip side of this, I'll be honest with you. And yes, listen, I'm not sitting here trying to defend for the sickos or nothing like that here. If Tony Khan was smart, which he's not, and sometimes, and I mean, like, well, I'm not gonna say he's not smart, but I'm just saying, but he needs to do business better. If I was Tony Khan, I would look at this as a blessing in disguise. I would look at this situation as a blessing in disguise because listen, they're going to be at Riyadh. Everything's going to be in Riyadh Hall of Fame, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, whatever their pay-per-view is going to be, and WrestleMania. There's nothing here in the States. The only thing WWE got anything to throw at you is TNA. You can swallow them whole. Now, if you can get your company to a good place by 2027, look, I'm gonna share something with y'all. When we was at the residency in AEW, we was chanting at Tony Khan during the commercial break, "All in Philly." Right? After the show went off the air, he introduced Bryan Danielson because Bryan Danielson's on commentary now. And we was chanting "All in Philly." And that's when Bryan Danielson got in the ring and he said that he was a Seattle Seahawks fan, but Bree is an Eagles fan, and she has taken him to some of the games to watch over in Lincoln Financial Field. And he said, Tony Khan just saying that would be a great stadium to have all in. For those who don't know, All In is like Tony Khan's WrestleMania. And that's where they do stadium shows. Now they are doing Wembley again next year. But I'm saying 2027, I think Tony Khan should take the opportunity to host the All In the States around that time and let that be the catalyst for all the other indie type shows and stuff like that to come around and take the money that he can make from that. Once again, that's if he gets his company to a decent enough place that he can sell about 40,000 people to at least 40 to 50,000 people coming in to see All In at Lincoln Financial Field. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you.
Or even if not Philly, somewhere in the States where there's a big wrestling event that people will be willing to travel. Because if you make it affordable, if you make it to the point where you have some decent matches on there, I guarantee you can sell that whole thing out. And while they'll have the old guys wrestling on WrestleMania, you can really build up some stars here and make shit make sense. Now, once again, there has to be a lot of work that needs to be done. Tony Khan needs to start like yesterday on this and to get his company back in order and to get All In to someplace like that. I'm just saying that because we were very loud and chanting All In Philly, and it was like, okay, you can do that, and right now you should be able to capitalize on that. They do this with you and counter program with you. Do it with them, and they can't do nothing about it because everything they're in Saudi. Everything with them is in Saudi. I don't know, man. Yeah, but it's I don't like it, but I'm going to watch it anyways. I'm going to watch the Royal Rumble. But once again, I think the Saudis is going to make them want certain matches that's just not going to make sense. Like, I don't need to see Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 43. He's retired. You know, I don't know what the Hall of Fame going to look like. I don't know what any of this shit going to look like. I don't even want The Rock back. I know Undertaker don't even need to come back right now. He don't. And all of them, that's not Triple H. I can't even say Triple H. They just look so uncomfortable to be there during that press conference. Especially Bianca Belair. She like, why am I here?
She was that better.
What you say?
I said she was at work, so they had to, she had to put her work voice on.
Oh yeah, she had to put her working voice on. I'm saying then, and like I said, say shit that she probably didn't feel like saying and stuff like that. But I mean, it come with the gig, right? It come with the job. And once again, people can sit there, like I said, people can sit there and say that he sold out, or that he sold out. I'm like, they been did that. They been sold out, and once again, this is really big on Vince's part. This is a Vince McMahon problem. So I don't necessarily know what to say about that, but it's unfortunate. It's real unfortunate that the UK or Wembley Stadium, they never got their WrestleMania, because they've been winning that international WrestleMania for the longest time, and now they're going to Saudi Arabia. It's going to be interesting, and then I'm also thankful that the rumor is true. Not true. That the rumor isn't true. That they was trying to have 2 WrestleManias in the same year. Did you hear about that rumor?
So I heard that they was going to try to they do the 2 like there's one in Saudi and one in another place.
Yeah, like one in North America and one in Saudi. I'm so glad that that's not happening.
I thought they was going to try to do that as in like a night 1, night 2 in the same week type of thing. Like night 1 is in Saudi, night 2 is in somewhere else. Kind of like sort of what Vince was trying to do, I guess, for WrestleMania. What that is, 4 or 2 or whatever.
Yeah, WrestleMania 2.
Yeah, but I don't think that would work out either. So I was like, I don't think that would have worked at all.
I don't think it's going to work neither. They're just going to be in Saudi Arabia. Everything's going to be in Saudi Arabia. So I sure already know that this card is going to be, it's going to be something to be desired. But I figure like I said, I also
like that one show in Korea.
Huh?
At least it's not going to be like that one show in Korea.
Oh, what happened in that tour in Korea?
In Korea, where they had to force the people to go?
Oh, you right. My bad. I heard that whole thing wrong. My bad. Okay. Well, yeah. So no. Just an ending. WWE is going started for WrestleMania 43. They did not sell out. It was all they been did that because this is a Vince McMahon problem, and it's not gonna get any better from here. From how TKO is going to be running this thing, it's going to become a point where we're not even going to be the audience for WWE anymore. We not. And they're working on that right now. They're going to be the audience. We're not going to be the audience for WWE right now because a $400 ticket for us is just going to be crazy. People are going to pay for it, but it's like right now we could even be looking at nosebleeds getting up to like $900. I can't do that. Why would I want to do that? If I'm going to spend damn near $1,000 on a seat, it ain't going to be up there in the nosebleeds. But once again, we not living in that time.
Like Brock Lesnar guy and all them buy tickets.
Say what?
I said, like Brock Lesnar guy and all them going to buy tickets.
Yeah, pretty soon it's going to feel like a boxing thing where only the celebrities can come out to Vegas and watch the game, or people who are high rollers who got the money.